Good morning guys, and welcome back to another day here in the incredible country of India. Today we are in a new city. We are in the city of Jodhpur, still in the state of Rajasthan, and well, let me just say I've heard some great things about the food scene here in Jodhpur. There are incredible street foods to be found, incredible things that I'm dying to try. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's try out some of the street food here in Jodhpur. I'm just walking around the local area here. I'm gonna find some things to eat, and I'm gonna show you all there is to try and eat when you're here in the city. Let's go ahead and start eating around Jodhpur. First stop of the day, we've come to an incredible place. It's called 99 Variety Dosa. Now, if you're wondering why am I having a dosa here, it's a good question. Fact is, it's very convenient, and this place is open. It's got like a lot of different options, and it looks absolutely delicious. So I'm very curious to try dosa. Now, dosa is traditionally a South Indian food. We're currently in Rajasthan, but that doesn't mean that the dosa here isn't good. It's just not typical of this region, but nonetheless, if you see the way he makes it, it is incredible. Dosa is this really, really thin crepe that's sort of spread out. They put a lot of different things on it: tomatoes, onions, potato. They spread it all out, and then you get it with 3 different sauces. You get a coconut chutney, you get some sambar, and you get another chutney. It is a very, very traditional South Indian thing. But if you look at it, this is really, really thick. I mean, look at how many things are stuffed in there. What I got is a masala dosa. That means they put some extra spices, they put some potatoes, and I even asked them to put in an extra onions and tomatoes to make it really nice, a few peppers as well, and that is what makes this one of the most incredible inventions of Indian street food. So without further ado, let's go ahead, let's try out some dosa here in Jodhpur. I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take it by itself. I don't want to put in any sambar, I don't want to put in any other sauce. I just want to try out a dosa just the way it should be, just like this. Let's go ahead and try it out. Oh, that has got to be the best dosa I've had. Now, of course, all the dosa I've had has been outside of India, but this, that is incredible. The spice flavor on the potatoes is so deliciously flavored. You've got onions, you've got tomatoes, you've got peppers, and the thing is, they're put on top of the dosa when they're cooking it. So the dosa is cooked really, really nice, but then the actual vegetables are still kind of fresh, kind of raw. It adds a nice layer of crispiness and freshness, which contrasts the almost potato puree that is put inside the dosa. The dosa skin itself, very, very nice and crispy on the outside, relatively soft and fluffy on the inside. That's what you want from a dosa. It's not too thick that it's almost too raw, but on the other hand, it's also not too thin that the entire dosa is very, very crispy and almost like a cracker. You want the perfect mix between the two, and here, that chef has masterfully done the job. Now, it's time for the sauces. The first thing I'm gonna try is the actual sambar. Sambar is almost like a tomato sauce that is really, really flavorful. It's got even more spice. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna dip it inside the sauce. Oh wow, look at that. There are quite a few things in this sambar sauce. Let's go ahead and try it out. That is incredible. The sambar sauce has this almost natural, tomatoey, fruity sweetness to it. There's the hint, the slightest hint of acidity in there. It is so, so delicious. That sambar is really, really good. I'm actually loving that sambar because it almost sort of soaks up the crispiness of the dosa, and the dosa retains all the flavor from the sambar. The tomatoes in the sambar are very, very fresh. They're cooked down a little bit, but they add this natural vegetable sweetness into the dosa that is really, really good. However, that's not the only sauce that we have available. We've also got a delicious coconut chutney. So what I'm gonna do is, you can literally see him making it right behind me. These massive, massive pots of chutneys and sambars. So he really mixed up that coconut sambar. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put some of that coconut sambar right on top. Oh, you know that sizzle? That means another dosa is being made. That is a brilliant sound here. But let's not get distracted. We've got sambar, we've got this coconut sambar here, we've got a dosa. Let's try it out. I don't even know which one I like better. I don't know if I like the sambar better or the coconut chutney more. The coconut chutney is really, really good because it's cold. It's refreshingly coconutty and cold in a way that it almost helps cool down your palate with the spiciness of the dosa. It creates the perfect balance between the hot, spiced up potato mix inside the dosa and the cold, creamy coconut flavor from the coconut sambar. Together, that is an exceptional combination. This is really, really good. I'm very impressed by this. I'm loving this dosa. And honestly, the chutneys with the dosa together make for an amazing combination. You just have to put them together. But even if you eat the dosa alone, the flavors, the freshness, the textures inside are already incredible just by themselves. That place right there, 99 variety dosa, that is where you're probably get some of the best dosa possible. The flavor, the sauces, the sambars, the chutneys, that is good. And that place at night, it blows up. It becomes super, super popular. So that is one of the best places to go, and I'll see you guys when we eat out next. Alright, next up of the day, we've come to a place that is Mutanji Sweets and Bali. They do some traditional Indian food as well. And we're getting some Rajasthani classics, finally. Something authentic here from Rajasthan. We've got two things. First off, we've got a kachori. A kachori is something very traditional in Rajasthan. They stuff it with onions, potato, that sort of paste. It's a really, really nice thing, and then it comes with the sauce. Here's the funniest thing about this place. I asked for some sauce with the kachori. They gave it to me in a blender. They literally blended this up minutes ago, and now it's in my hands with the sauce to accompany the kachori. It's incredible that is how fresh things get here in India. The second thing is obviously jalebi. Yeah, jalebi is a traditional Indian sweet. It is very common here in Rajasthan. It's very typical, and specifically in Rajasthan, it's really good. Let's go ahead and try the kachori. This is an onion kachori, so it's stuffed with onion on the inside. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, tear a piece off first. Wow, look at that filling. You can actually see all the onions inside. Other places like kachori, for example, when I was in Jaipur, you didn't really see the distinctive onions, but here, oh yeah, you can definitely see those onions. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to tear a piece off, and we're gonna try it with the sauce. Let's try it out. That is delicious. Wow. The sauce is almost like a sweet and sour sauce. It's thick, it's almost jam-like. It's a little bit sweet, but that is incredible. The kachori, first off, the outside skin, super, super crispy, super, super flaky. You've got onions. You've got all these distinctive onion flavors. These bits of onions that are actually crispy still. We got crispy skin on the outside, crispy batter, and crispy onions on the inside. It's a really good combination. The jammy sort of sweet texture of the sauce really adds to the overall flavor. Next thing I've asked to have, jalebi. And these are freshly fried over there. These are as fresh as it gets. They're fried in that deep, deep oil with some syrup. Let's go ahead, try out jalebi, one of the traditional Rajasthani sweets. That's very different to the jalebis I've had in other parts of India. This jalebi is a little bit almost jelly, almost like a donut kind of. Fried, very nice and airy on the inside, and it's really, really delicious. I actually prefer this type of jalebi. It's not so thin that it's almost like a tiny little noodle, but instead it's got a bit of depth, it's got a bit of thickness, it's got a bit of texture to it that you gotta chew through. It's almost kind of bouncy on the inside in a lot of ways. Wow, this is some of the best things I've had here in India. I love the kachori, it's one of my favorite things. And the jalebi, sweet, but not too sweet. It's a very, very nice jalebi compared to other jalebis I've had where it's been overly poweringly sweet. This one is actually a really nice balance. So this is probably one of the best things you can get here. This place, classic local destination, one of the best places you can get street food here in Jodhpur. Quick correction, I just realized that that is actually not jalebi. That whole thing is actually a multi. It's not jalebi, which is why it tastes so different. It almost tastes doughy and almost donutty in a lot of ways. That's why it's different. But quick correction here, that's why this place is called the multi place. And yeah, interesting thing to try here in Rajasthan. Now that right there, that is a delicious place. I mean, and the whole price total, 60 rupees for the kachori and the milta. I mean, it's delicious, it's cheap. That's what Indian street food is all about. That's why you come to these establishments like these for some delicious local street food. With that, I am stuffed for now, but I think we're gonna eat dinner later, so I'll show you guys what we're gonna have here in Jodhpur. Alright, so instead of having a full dinner, we've decided to have just some sweets in order to cap off the day. I think that's a really smart idea, especially when Jodhpur is so famous for their sweets. And the main sweet we've had here today is jalebi and rabdi. Jalebi, as you know, is that crispy berries in there. Very different from what we had earlier today. This jalebi, as you can tell, is very different. And more than anything, it's covered in almonds, it's covered in a few different things. It's a very, very good jalebi. And here, what they do is not only do they have jalebi, they also have it with rabdi. Rabdi is like a milk sort of pudding. It's very, very interesting. I've never seen anything like it before. It almost looks like a milk pudding in a lot of ways, but it seems like more like cream. The way to do it is that you're supposed to dip the jalebi inside the actual rabdi, and then you're gonna try it out. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get my first piece of jalebi. We're gonna dip it inside the rabdi. So we're gonna go ahead and dip, dip, dip. Look at that, look at the white sort of cream frosting on the very top. We're gonna go ahead and try it out. Oh wow. Now, so first off, the jalebi. What's special about Jodhpuri jalebi is that they make it super, super thin. You can literally tell. It's like millimeters thick. That's good for a few reasons. First, you get a lot of air inside the jalebi. It makes it really, really nice and crispy. Second, because it's so thin, there's not a lot of dough to it. It's very different from the dessert that we had earlier today. It's very nice, very crispy, very delicious. Second, more than the cream itself, what adds more flavor to the jalebi are the almonds and the spices that they put on sort of top of the jalebi. You can tell, there's not any typical jalebi. They've added a few extra things, a few nuts, sort of nuts on top to add it as a different texture, a different flavor. And then finally, the last thing that changes the flavor, the rabdi. A sort of milky, almost custard-like thing that's creamy, that coats the jalebi just perfectly nicely. It's a really nice contrast to the crispiness of the actual jalebi and the creaminess from the rabdi. Really, really nice. How big these jalebis are. You can literally see, compared to my face, just how big this jalebi is. But a great combination here in Jodhpur is something you've got to try when you're here in the city. That is how you end off a food day here in Jodhpur. That jalebi was delicious and you dip it in that rabdi. I've never had rabdi before, but that is a really interesting way of having jalebi. It's like dipping it in like a milk custard, and obviously the almonds, the cardamom on top of the jalebi have just exponentially made it much better. But with that, what an incredible food day we had. We had dosa, we've had kachori, we've had jalebi, we've had milti, we've had so many different things here in Jodhpur. Jodhpur is truly a food city, it's a food haven. And because of that, if you ever get the chance, I would highly recommend you come and visit this city for the food specifically. But with that, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more food and travel videos. We've got a lot more videos coming here from India, so make sure to stay tuned. And I will see you all on the next one. Bye guys.